now that the Atlanta Regionals is finished, we actually have the top placing list from that tournament, and that's going to be Henry Chow's Gardevoir EX list. And I really like this deck a lot. This is something that I've been talking about for a little while, that Gardevoir is incredibly powerful. But this list did surprise me because it's using the Zoroark EX as an extra draw engine to be able to use the trade ability similar to the refinement ability of the old Kirlia to help get those psychic energies in the discard pile. It is also playing the secret box in order to not only get the energies in the discard pile, but help find you your important supporters that you need. You also are able to find your bravery charms that way. So it actually works out pretty well. We are playing a 3-2 line of the Gardevoirs, as well as 2 Munkidori, 1 Budew, 1 Screamtail, 1 Drifloon, and then Clefairy. Clefairy is the card that makes this deck really, really powerful because it allows you to have a very, very strong Gardevoir Dracopult matchup, and that's what we saw when we look at the Atlanta Regionals. It was Henry Chow at the top, a ton of Dracopult, and then another Gardevoir. So if that's going to be like what our meta looks like, this card is going to help Gardevoir just be incredibly powerful going forward. Now, what's important to note is that you do have dark energies, but you're not actually going to be using them for the Night Joker attack, so don't waste your time putting energies on this. I just wanted to make that clear before we go. You're mostly just looking to put them onto the Munkidoris to be able to move damage counters around, things like that. We're playing off Ionos because we want to be Ionoing our opponent as much as possible once we're set up. We are playing the Morty's Conviction. Now, you can change this card. This card is very, very good right now, but it's also a call for things like Terra Box because they're going to be playing a very wide bench, so it's a very good meta call, but you could change it out for something else. We are playing 2 copies of Professor Turo's to be able to reset our Mons if we have to and reset some damage, and also the Professor's Research in order just to dump cards out of our hand. But yeah, that's going to be it for the list. It's a very interesting list, and I like it a lot. So shout out to Henry Chow for this list. Congratulations on the victory at the Atlanta Regionals. And yeah, we'll jump into the games in a second. I just want to give a special shout out to the channel members. Thank you guys so much for that additional level of support. It really does go a long way, and it means a lot. So thank you guys so much for that. To everybody else, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. It really helps out the channel, and I appreciate it. And if you want to become a channel member, it gets you videos a day early. More exclusive content for channel members will be coming out soon, as well as all future stream VODs will end up being members-only content once I start streaming again, probably sometime next week. But yeah, that's just about it, and I will see you guys all in game number 1 in a second. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 1. Our opponent's going to be going first because they won the coin flip. We are going to have to mulligan here, which will show what we're playing, but it's not the worst thing in the world. One of the other things that's really nice is that this deck gets around stall matchups really, really well. So, like, if you know you're going into walls and all that kind of stuff, you just don't really play the Zoroark. In that scenario, you just give yourself your Gardevoirs and a couple other things. That way you're able to move. Like, you can't really get retreat locked because you can always just move the energies with the Gardevoir to whatever is stuck in the active, retreat them out. You can also just power up whatever is in the active, start making it an attacker. You don't get walled by anything. Right now, you don't have to worry about things like Mimikyu. You don't have to worry about things like the Milotic or Cornerstone. So that is pretty nice. We do see a Ralts. We do have Rare Candy Kirlia, but that doesn't really matter since we're just going to be ending up dropping the Iono at the start of our turn. This hand is much worse than our other hand. We do see a Lillie's Clefairy. This probably means that we're up against Terra Box because we see the Hoot Hoot. Ooh, Meryl. That full art's really cute. Maybe we should look into the Azumarill deck. We have a lot of different cards we need to look into right now. We see Ultra Ball for Cornerstone. Again, we don't really care about the Cornerstone, but they do want it, so that way they have the Terra for the Azumarill. We'll attach one Psychic Energy to the Ralts. This will mostly just be there so that way we can retreat out. What did they add? Alright, we're only getting rid of one Noctowl, but the fact that they Ultra Balled for that makes me feel like they did have the Azumarill. But now I'm less worried about playing the end Zoroark down. So I'm fine going with this, and then on the next turn I can Secret Box. My Ralts might get KO'd here, but I think I just want to keep the Zorua instead. And since I have the backup Ralts, I don't really care if this gets knocked out. On the next turn, I can go Secret Box and get myself the Conviction. That'll draw me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Which will be pretty huge. If I lose that on the Ralts, it's okay. The main thing is just making Gardevoir with Drifloon. And going from there, we see Crispin. Fighting Energy. One down. This will be Quick Search for the Azumarill, I'm guessing. Yep. So, yeah, I was going to say, they don't have this powered up yet. There's a world where we could potentially get into Screamtail. So let's go Secret Box here. We'll get rid of these. Actually, yeah, we'll do it like this. We'll grab ourselves 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How do we want to do this? We'll go Artisan. And then I think the best thing we can do here is grab ourselves Nest Ball. Because we could go Candy, but that doesn't help us. We'll go Earthen Vessel, actually. So, first off, we'll go Artisan. Earthen Vessel. Get ourselves 2 more Dark Energy. Or, sorry, 2 more Psychic Energy. Go Artisan. Use that to find ourselves the... We could go... Screamtail would be nice, because if I can get Gardevoir set up, then I can just attack into the Azumarill on the bench, knock that out, and be in a pretty good position. So we are going to go Screamtail here. Then I'm going to go Research. Fortunately, nothing got knocked out. We keep seeing Dark Energies, and we didn't find our Zoroark either. So in this case, I'm going to retreat this out. Bring in the Budew. Attack just to item lock. And if my Budew gets knocked out, that's totally fine. We can go Fezandipiti down. Because we're in a scenario right now that's like good and bad. What's good is that they can't set up another Azumarill unless they get their stadium down and then go Meryl. Them going Rotom Fan here is totally fine. They go Boss onto the Ralts. That's fine. Bring in the Budew. We have a Buddy Poffin we don't really care about. We'll go Artisan here. I guess take the Munkidori, we may as well at this point. Play this down. Go Fezandipiti. I don't really want to Iono here. Like, I do, but I don't feel like giving them the cards to work with. But at the same time, if I can get the KO on Azumarill, it won't matter. And I am going to be item locking pretty much no matter what here. Alright, so we'll evolve this. We'll go flip the script, because if I can get Rare Candy Gardevoir, that'd be great. We just get another Kirlia. We'll go trade on the Buddy Poffin. Gets ourselves 2 Night Stretchers. Still not really what we're looking for, but we do get Kirlia at least. And from here, we just go Budew. If we give up a second prize card, honestly, that's fine. We'll just go Iono after. We may have to knock this out. Alright, getting the conviction's nice. There's Brock Scouting. For either double Hoot Hoot or like another Meryl. Yeah, Meryl and a Hoot Hoot. Salt Landing. So, alright, I'm gonna put Munkidori in the active here. At this point, we'll go Conviction. We'll discard the Clefairy EX. Okay, there's our Gardevoir. I can put the damage here. Now, what I'm actually going to go ahead and do, we'll go flip the script, trade one of the energy away, find ourselves Mew. It's less kind of valuable. I can knock this out. Just deal with that, take a prize card. With the goal of looping my Screamtails after this. So, like, we'll go down to 3 prizes. The goal after this is that we bring Screamtail in, we power it up, we knock out the Pidgeot. Because I just need to find my... After I get knocked out, I'll be able to go Fezandipiti trade. Pretty much get to the bottom of my deck. From that point, I should be able to find my... what's it called? The Bravery Charm. And if I can find the Bravery Charm, I can snipe out the Pidgeot EX. They knock out Fez, go down to 2. That's fine. Ooh, the unfair stamp here is going to hurt. The unfair stamp's going to throw a wrench into this. We still get Drifloon. Let's see. At most right now I can take 4 prizes. We get ourselves Nest Ball. Alright, we'll put that back. We'll Nest Ball out Fez. Go flip the script. Where we were really hoping to find... Alright, we'll go Scenario to pick the Fez back up. Remove it from being a boss target. We'll go Screamtail. It doesn't really matter what we put on this at this point. Go Roaring Scream. We do have to take out the active. In this scenario, we'll take one prize. If they don't find a way to knock these out, they'll go down to one prize. We'll bring in the Drifloon. If we can get ourselves into the Iono Bravery Charm. Actually, we'll need a couple different things. Because we are giving up our Screamtail. The other play would be to, like, trap something like the Noctowl. Keep it trapped in the active. And then, once we could do that, we could just use Screamtail to snipe the bench. But that's not really going to work out in this case. We just need a lot of things to go right here. And I don't think they're going to. But we could, I don't know, who knows? We'll get 5 cards, 6 off our top deck. If we get ourselves our pieces that we're looking for, this may go really well. But we need to deal with the Pidgeot and trap like one of the Noctowls, because it's something that they can't really attack with. Though if they do have a single energy, they're going to be able to retreat. But they'll be down to 1 card and not really able to get anything. So they'll just be in top deck mode. So we'll see. We do have Munkidori for free retreat. We top deck a Gardevoir EX. Don't really need any of that. We're going to go Ultra Ball here. Get rid of those. Use that to find ourselves Mew. Just to really pull it out of our deck is mostly what we're up to right now. We'll go Fez, draw 3. Alright, we do find our Iono. That's one thing. That is not terrible, but we need a couple different things for this to go right. We'll get rid of the Rare Candy, or we'll get rid of the Psychic Energy. We do also find the Counter Catcher, so that's another part of this plan that is working. So we have to work with the part of the plans that we do have right now. So we'll go Noctowl. Place the Artisan down. Force them to get rid of some pieces. Where they get rid of the Clefairy. Again, that's not really what we were worried about. So that's totally fine by us. We need to make sure that we're hitting Bravery Charm and we're getting a Rescue Stretcher here. Or a Night Stretcher, rather. Unfortunately, we didn't. So in this case, what we kind of have to do is go retreat, bring in the Gardevoir, and we can't actually knock this out. We have to just hold for a turn. Because if we knock this out, they bring in the Azumarill and go Pidgeot for boss. We need them to do, like, Pidgeot for an energy or something to retreat out the Noctowl. We can absorb the attack from the Azumarill, go Counter Catcher Iono for the same play, hoping to find our Bravery Charm and a Night Stretcher. So then we can pick up the Screamtail, knock out the Pidgeot, put them in a position where whatever's in here is trapped, and then we go into the, KOing the Azumarill, and so forth and so on. Yeah, so they go Pidgeot for switch. They go Double Edge. We will heal our Gardevoir, taking the KO and one of our prizes, where we do get the Bravery Charm. Alright, I think we have to go Bravery Charm onto the Drifloon for right now. Because the outcome's still the same. They put this into the active, so we should be able to KO it here. Which means we don't really need the counter catcher anymore. So we go Iono. Put them to 1. We do actually get our Night Stretcher as well. Is there a world where we go for a second Munkidori? No. We'll go trade here. Get rid of the Budew. I think there is a world. So first things first, we Miracle Force to 2 onto the Gardevoir to retreat that out. We retreat. Bring in the Drifloon. I think the play is to make Munkidori, let's see, because they can't attack. They can only do 10 damage with the rollout. There's no way they make anything with that. So we go Night Stretcher here. Get ourselves the other Dark Energy. Attach this down. Let's go Psychic, Embrace for this. I'm not exactly sure what the damage is for 280, but I believe I need one more. Let me look. 240, so I do need one more. Which is unfortunate, but it does keep me in range. Like, I'll be able to knock this out. And then we'll just stack 30 damage onto this Marill. So that way, on the next turn, if we're not KO'd, we move 30 damage onto the Azumarill and get the KO. Right now, off their 2 cards, there's our other Bravery Charm. That's why this was so hard. If they have Crispin, we just lose, but there's literally nothing we could have done to play around that. Let's go! Alright, we brought it back. It sucks that our Bravery Charms are both prized. That definitely made this game harder because we were trying to play around having them. But it's also on me. I should have prize checked to make sure that I had them. But our end game result was still the same. It was kind of a misplay on their part to put Pidgeot in the active. They should have sacked like literally anything else. But we did still have a counter catcher available, so it didn't really matter at the end of the day. But that was still a mistake by them. We were able to make a pretty good comeback here, though. They didn't prioritize making their second Azumarill earlier the way they should have. So having to attack and knock out their own definitely hurt them. But yeah, that was a very, very fun game, actually. So good that we pulled that out. And yeah, we'll jump into game number 2 in a second. I'll see you guys there. Peace. Alright, we're into game number 2, and we're going to be going first. We open our Drifloon, which is a little underwhelming as just our only open. We are going to get some cards off the prize, or the mulligans here. I'm guessing this is Terra Box, but I'm not totally positive. We get an Iono. We see Toxagiri. I think we just go Secret Box here. Get rid of this, and I'm making a call that it's Terra Box, so we'll get rid of that too. We'll go... We'll grab ourselves Research for after. We'll get ourselves Buddy Poffin here. Bravery Charm. Yeah. So we'll go Buddy Poffin. for Ralts Zorua. We'll Artisan, which will give them access to it, but I'm not as worried about that. To get ourselves another Munkidori, or get ourselves one Munkidori rather. And then from here we can pass. We want to get ourselves a couple more energy. We will hopefully get that off the Conviction. So I'm not positive what they're playing. They get themselves a Boss's Orders. I'm not as worried about that. I'm also starting to think it's not Terra Box, which is... okay. So it's some sort of Chien-Pao deck or something. Ooh, Chien-Pao with Iron Hands is actually a little bit of a problem. Iron Hands is very, very powerful into our deck. It's one of the few things that make our matchups, like, difficult. So we're going to want to make sure we're sniping this out as soon as possible. So we are going to want either a Boss or a Screamtail. We do need to get ourselves into Guardy as well. Okay. We get ourselves into the Guardy. We do have access to Bravery Charm here. Let's see. We'll go Screamtail. And then what I'm going to do is go Ultra Ball, get rid of both of these. Get myself the Zoroark. Play the Zoroark down. Grab ourselves this. So we can go trade. Get rid of that. Alright, none of this is super ideal, but it's not like the worst thing ever. It does mean that if they get into... okay, we could delay this a lot by going Budew. So I think that's what we are going to end up doing. We'll put the damage onto this. Retreat. Bring Budew in. Go Dark Energy onto the Munkidori. Move the 20 damage. And we don't really need to make this weaker, honestly. I'm just going to prep this to make it a little bit easier to snipe out with Screamtail, because if they don't have access to the Frigibacks, they can never power up the Iron Hands. So by going for the Budew here, going Itchy Pollen, stopping them from being able to go for like a Rare Candy play, and then also making it so we can go for Screamtail onto this on the next turn, is going to be very, very powerful. Especially because we have Iono as well to break down their hand. Yeah, I'm definitely knocking this out with Screamtail on the next turn. They can go Artisan for a new one, which does actually make me want to get rid of the Iron Hands, but I think it's safer to do it this way. Obviously, if we could go like double Munkidori down, that would be nice, but it's fine. Alright, we'll go trade here. Get another Psychic Energy in the discard. We do get the Turos, so we could actually go for a second Munkidori here. Rather than the Budew, since we are going to start doing damage. Which I don't think is a terrible idea. But I also want to be able to go Iono. Yeah, I think it's fine. We'll pick this up. Go for a second Munkidori. Obviously, we don't have the Dark Energy to like make it work right this second, but I think it overall will be beneficial. So 20 and 40. We only need 50 or 70 damage. What is this? 20 damage for each damage counter. So 20, 40. We need 2 more. Or actually, we have 4 damage counters. I'm an idiot. So we do 80. So we do have enough already. But I already started this process, so I guess it's going right here. Yeah, we'll Brain to move the 20 damage off. Throw them onto this. I was counting the psychic energies like an idiot. I needed to be counting damage counters. I'm like, yeah, I already have enough. I don't know why I was doing that. Alright, we get ourselves an Earthen Vessel. That's going to allow us to get even more psychic energy in the discard pile. But getting rid of that, again, if they have Rare Candy Frigibacks, there's nothing that we can really do. But if they don't, then fantastic. They miss the attract customers. But the one turn of Budew did put us in a position that we kind of have everything we need. We can go Earthen Vessel, get rid of the psychic energy, get ourselves another dark energy. Place that on to our Munkidori. We'll have double Munkidori set up. We see an Artisan for our opponent. They don't really get anything. So that is what it is. And they're just going to go ahead and concede. So the one turn of Munkidori really did, or not Munkidori, the one turn of Budew really did hurt, like, kind of cripple them. Or maybe not. I mean, honestly, who knows? They could have had just, you know, they could have just not had Rare Candy backs, which I guess they didn't, because of the fact that they never really played it. So they could have just been completely bricked, and my one turn of Budew didn't actually mean anything, which is possible. But yeah, I don't know if they were even playing like Chen Pal or what. Iron Hands is a really strong card into this deck, but it definitely isn't the strongest. Iron Hands is really strong into this deck, but I guess this deck just wasn't the strongest. It bricked a little bit. I assume they were probably playing something that has to do with Chen Pal, but I'm not, 100% positive on that front. But yeah, that's going to be it for the game number 2. Game number 1 was pretty long, so I don't really feel too bad about this one being a little shorter. But yeah, we'll get into the breakdown in a second, and I'll see you guys there. Peace. When looking at the total review of this deck, I think it's not only a very fun deck, but also incredibly powerful. Now, obviously, it did win the Atlanta Regionals, but I think outside of that, Gardevoir is just a really strong deck, and I've been talking about that for a little while now, and so I'm really happy that it's kind of popping off and doing its thing. Gardevoir, to me, is very similar in a weird way to, like, Mew VMAX from the past, where every time everyone's like, oh, it's gone, it's just still incredibly powerful, and it's just going to pop up at, like, every regionals no matter what. So always be prepared for Gardevoir is what I'm saying. But going into our rating, going from top down, fun. I love this deck. Not just this deck list in particular, but just Gardevoir in general. I think it's really fun. I think it's intricate, but it does take a lot of time to learn. I think the floor for Guardy is pretty low, but the ceiling is very high. In a similar version to how Lost Box used to be, I think it's similar to that regard, but I love this deck. I think it's a ton of fun, and it's definitely going to be my IRL, like, in-person paper deck going forward, probably for the foreseeable future. Going into its power, I think its power, I would give it a 4 out of 5. There are a little bit of drawbacks with it in certain matchups, like, let's say Charizard, for example. It's a little hard to get over Charizard if you don't have, like, extra energies to manipulate stuff with Munkidori, or if you don't have, like, your Bravery Charms available. Your damage in general can be a little bit lower. You are relying on those a little bit. We are relying on a couple different things. Now, right now, the overall damage, or, like, the HP that you need to hit isn't incredibly high around the game. You do get by Dracopult because you have your Clefairy, but in situations where, like, your Clefairy's prized or whatever, your damage can be a little bit low and a little bit hard to manipulate. So I would give it a 4 out of 5. Most times it's not going to matter, but when it does, it feels pretty bad. The consistency, same thing, 4 out of 5. Now, this list does play the End Zoroark in order to help that out a little bit by being able to go for your draws and be able to go, like, for trade and stuff like that. But the main issue is that you do still rely on a stage 2 where you have to go for like the Rare Candy into Gardevoir or go Kirlias or something like that. You do still need to find your Zoroarks. It's not as consistent as it used to be. Now you can either play Brilliant Blender or you can play the Secret Box, and if you do that, then they all work out really well. But again, you're not as consistent as you used to be, but you're still pretty consistent. Just every now and again, you're really, what hurts this deck the most is prizing. Sometimes you just prize stuff and it just breaks the game for you. Like if you prize double Rare Candy, or like in one of my games I prized both of my Zoruras during testing, and so that was really rough. And yeah, so that can be a little bit annoying, but for the most part you're fine. So again, 4 out of 5. And then for your matchups, I would say that you have a 4 out of 5 in the matchups category as well. It's really strong in my personal opinion. That, or I would make consistency and power maybe like 4.5 points, but whatever. But anyway, going into matchups, your matchups are really strong. Obviously you can struggle against Charizard, but Charizard's a little bit less common now than it used to be. Your Dragapult matchup is really good, but it does take some kind of knowledge of the matchup in order to get it to go your way consistently. You want to make sure that like you're having Bravery Charms on your Clefable, or Clefairy rather. You're gonna, like, the matchup takes practice, but when you know the matchup, it's really favored for you. But if you don't know the matchup and you're just kind of playing it, it can be a little bit hard because of the spread of the damage counters. So not being able to like build your bench consistently or correctly can either like make or break that for you. But yeah, that's going to be overall the matchup spread. Your Terra Box matchup isn't that bad. You don't really, like, Wellspring is a problem, but once you get past Wellspring, it's not too bad at all. I think Shaman in future sets will also help this deck out a ton. But yeah, surprisingly, one of the hardest matchups is actually End Zoroark, since it can just snipe you out and be really, really annoying. It hits Guardy for weakness, and there's no way to really protect your bench. So that one's a little bit hard to play around. But for the most part, it's really, really strong. But yeah, that's going to be the breakdown, guys. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I hope you liked the games. Game 1 was a ton of fun. Very fun comeback there. But yeah, I will see you guys all in the next video. Be sure to let me know what you want to see in the comment section down below. And be sure to look out for our next poll on what we're playing. There's a couple different decks that I have to cover, so we'll be covering all those soon. And I will see you guys all in the next video. Peace.